আমি বলে দেবো, প্রপার বলে দেবো, একদম আমি বলবো যেরকম সেরকম। A very good morning. It's still morning. And a warm welcome to you all. We are running slightly late, so I'll directly get into the thickets of the program. Before that, I would request you to kindly switch off your mobiles or put them on the flight mode. It is my privilege to invite upon the stage our honorable guest today, the Vice Chairman of NITI Aayog, Dr. Ashok Kumar Lahiri, and the Honorable Vice Chancellor Visva-Bharati, Dr. Kumar Ghosh. I would request the organizers to guide them to the stage. Students and staff of Sangeet Bhavan Visva-Bharati would now perform the Vedic hymn. I would request all of you to rise to your feet for the Vedic hymn. Sadhu, sadhu. Please be seated. I would now request the organizers to perform the traditional boron or ceremonial reception of the dignitaries on stage. Now, the same troupe of Sangit Bhavan would perform the inaugural song. Sadhu, sadhu. Next, I would request the dignitaries on the stage to perform the lighting of the ceremonial lamp. The big lamp being lit by the small lamp, long-standing tradition of the ashrama. You just witnessed that ceremony. We, on behalf of Visva-Bharati, we want to offer a token of our appreciation to Dr. Lahiri, the Vice Chairman, and I would request the Honorable Vice Chancellor to felicitate Dr. Lahiri with this token of our appreciation. In the morning, we happily found out that Dr. Lahiri is passionate about art. And therefore, in the bag that you have assembled for him, there is a collection, a book, which is a collection of Rabindranath Tagore's paintings. And this is Dokra art from Amar Kutir. Now I know, we planned this without knowing, but now I know he would really, really love having them. We would, with the end of the felicitation, we would now get into the main segment of the program. I would request Professor Amit Kumar Hajra, Director, Studies, Educational Innovation and Rural Reconstruction, Visva-Bharati, to deliver the welcome address.
Respected dignitaries on and off the dais, esteemed faculty members, vibrant student community, and friends, a warm good morning to all of you. It is an absolute honor to welcome you all to this iconic seat of learning, Visva-Bharati, a space envisioned by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore as the universal refuge, Jatra Vishwam Bhavete Kuniram, where the world makes its home in a single nest. Today, we gather in this sanctuary of culture and thought to engage with a theme deeply intertwined with the spirit of Shantiniketan, innovating for inclusive growth, bridging tradition and technology. It's my proud privilege to extend a most hearty and respectful welcome to our distinguished guest, Dr. Ashok Lahiri, Vice Chairman of NITI Aayog. Sir, we are deeply grateful for your kind consent to grace this occasion and share your profound insights with us. Your distinguished leadership in shaping India's economic landscape makes your presence a monumental privilege for our university. We eagerly look forward to hearing your vision on how modern innovation can harmonize with traditional wisdom to build an inclusive future. This momentous occasion would not have been possible without the vision and proactive leadership of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Prabir Kumar Ghosh. We express our heartfelt gratitude and welcome you, sir, for your tireless initiative in bringing stalwarts like Dr. Lahiri to our august university. Your ongoing effort to foster economic excellence and create high-level intellectual opportunities for Visva-Bharati is truly inspiring. We extend a warm and respectful welcome to the deans of various faculties, heads of departments, and our esteemed faculty members. Your enthusiastic presence today reflects your unwavering commitment to expanding academic horizons and nurturing our university's vibrant intellectual culture. A special and cordial welcome goes to the Honorable District Magistrate, the Subdivisional Officer, and other dignitaries, also Mr. Indu Bhushan. We sincerely appreciate your presence and continued support, which strengthens the bond between the institution and the administration. Last, but certainly not the least, a most affectionate and special welcome to our research scholars and students representing departments across the university. Today offers you a rare and valuable opportunity to interact directly with one of the nation's leading economic minds in the presence of our Honorable Vice Chancellor. We encourage you to absorb, reflect, and actively engage in this dialogue. May today's deliberation light up new pathways of thought and inspire us to bridge our rich traditions with the promise of technology for the greater good of all. Once again, a warm welcome to one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, Amita. It is my privilege now to request Dr. Prabir Kumar Ghosh, our Vice Chancellor, to address the Assembly.
Very good morning to all of you, distinguished guests on the dais, Dr. Ashok Kumar Lahiri, Honorable Vice Chairman NITI Aayog, other guests, respected DM, and other guests present in this hall, all my directors, principals, all head of the department and faculty, and more importantly, all my dear students present in this hall, NCC, NSS cadre, and press and media, ladies and gentlemen. I also join my colleague, Professor Amit Hajra, in welcoming the guest, the special guest, Dr. Ashok Kumar Lahiri, who is a distinguished economist and an accomplished public policy expert, and also a respected public figure whose contribution to India's economic policy making have been widely acknowledged. We all know Professor Ashok Lahiri not only through his distinguished contribution to policy making and development, but also through his lucid and insightful television discussion on union budget and also economic and Indian economy, which helps in bringing many complex economic issues which are very closer to general public. Sir, on behalf of Visva-Bharati fraternity, I am really grateful to you for accepting our invitation and for delivering a special lecture for Innovating for Inclusive Growth for the benefit of my student and faculty. We are really thankful to you. During the visit this morning, we could know that he knows each and every corner of Santiniketan Visva-Bharati and also ideology and philosophy of Gurudev. But let us refresh our mind on ideology and philosophy of Gurudev for establishing Visva-Bharati and also rural reconstruction. So, So as you know that we just visited that foundation started with an 1863 foundation by Maharishi Devendranath Thakur, that is Chatim Tala. Then 1891 Upasana Griha was established. 1901 Brahmacharya Ashram Tapovan system, that is the Patha Bhavan student. And then 1921 the establishing the Visva-Bharati. 1922 the Sriniketan experiment is famous for the rural reconstruction. 1951 we got recognition for the Central University as per the Act of Parliament, and very recently in 2023 the university has been recognized for world's first living heritage university by UNESCO. In fact, Tagore created India's first rural development laboratories long before we all are witness. He also established a living model for integrated education, joyful learning in harmony with nature. Now, at present, this is the main component of NEP 2020. Now, Visva-Bharati, if we know about Visva-Bharati, we have 10 bhavan, 8 bhavan and 2 school. At present, we have more than 11,000 students. The average intake is 3,400 per annum. Total faculty is 658. Total school teacher 151. We have a non-teaching and administrative staff 1,810. We have 62 academic departments, and we are running 127 UG and PG program altogether. Now we also know that Tagore's vision, education should connect communities and promote livelihood. I am not going to read, but if we read the first stanza, if a true school is to be established in India, then from the very beginning it must apply its economics, its agriculture science, its health science, and all its practical knowledge to the surrounding villages of its location and become the center of the country's way of life. Now, best practices. What is the excellence of the Visva-Bharati? Yes, we all are witness and we can claim many best practices are available at Visva-Bharati. If we start with the Upasana Griha, সেই tradition সমানে চলছে since 1891 in the same rhythm. Now, the school, as I mentioned, that heritage school, Pathabhavan. This is a Tapovan concept, and Gurukul system is still going with a 4 principles. First principle is the beyond the classroom, under the tree, classes under tree. The second principle is connect with the nature. The third is connect with the community. And fourth is the holistic education. Now we have learned art, music, literature, yoga, everything. That is a holistic education in Pathabhavan. Now we also, as I mentioned, that Srinivatan experiments, Gurudev's ideology for rural reconstruction. The main objective was the self-reliance, cooperation, cooperative movement, education through life, harmony with nature, cultural and creativity, and scientific agriculture. To establish this and to address all these issues and ideas, now he conceptualized village development society. He conceptualized Mahila Samitis, Bratidal, self-help group, rural libraries, also agriculture extension, rural craft, and folk culture, environmental awareness, Adarsh Gram initiative. All these in totality signify the rural reconstruction. Now the Visva-Bharati continues to strengthen this community development program to fulfill the dream of Tagore. At present, we have 50 village development society. We have 12 Mahila Samitis, 100 SHG. We are promoting sustainable livelihood through the agriculture, kitchen garden, tree plantation, craft promotion, entrepreneurship. Yes, we are maintaining cultural heritage, Lok Sanskriti, traditional crafts, festival, and also we have youth development program, Bratidal, I mentioned earlier, leadership, services. We develop a knowledge center in different villages. Now we have 38 rural libraries, continuing education and digital learning. Now social transformation, we have a health awareness program, we have a yoga program, we have a physical education, literacy, women's empowerment, and also environmental awareness, then village survey. So this is our activity, and I am happy to convey that the 20 department of Visva-Bharati are engaging, are connecting with the community now. Now, this is some of the glimpse of the photograph, the activity in the community services the Visva-Bharati is promoting. Now, new initiative. We have 100% implementing new education policy. We have implemented this 4-year UG program, NEP in the school also, in Patha Bhavan and Shikha Satra. Now, multiple exit, multiple entry, all aspect mock courses, and also the all portal we are promoting, and we are touching upon Sarthi and Samarth and Utsav and Nice. Now, this heritage work, as I mentioned that in 2023, we got a recognition for World First Living Heritage by the UNESCO. And there is a public demand, tourist demand, that they should see for which reason, for what reason the Visva-Bharati has been recognized for World Heritage. Then we have 48 buildings. The tourists are very keen to see that all these buildings. Now it is open from 3rd August, and now earlier we had only on Sunday. Now it is for 6 days for the public. This is some of the photograph for heritage work. This in a batch of 4 batch every day, and one batch consists of 35 people. Now, green initiative, this is also comes under, this is a very good component for NEP 2020 and NAC and NIRF. The Visva-Bharati is taking care. This is mostly the creativity of the student. Patha Bhavan student, Silpa Sadhan, and I think honorable guest, he has also visited this exhibition. So he has seen the creativity of the student. This is the water hyacinth. It has a many nuisance value we all see in many places. It's very, very difficult to eradicate. Now, our student now has this nuisance value is making in a wealth. Is you see the product. This is the product, and also jacket and all these, maybe the file cover, everything. And then the paper which is being used here, we are not considering as the waste. Our students are using for a wealth. Now the vermicomposting, now nothing is waste nowadays. Now all the leaf falls are being used for a compost and vermicomposting in the whole campus. Now, this year, during last 1 year, we have many new initiatives. Now, the first time we had a industry academia meet in this Visva-Bharati. And good response, 81 industry had participated. We had a first time Indian knowledge system seminar for 3 days. We had the first time the UGC regional conferences for Eastern and Northeastern region for 377 school, college and university, and the participant was more than 500. First time we have undergone a training workshop for the administrative staff of Visva-Bharati in 2 batches, so 150 administrative staff were trained this time. Now, digitization, this is another new initiative. Now, with the collaboration with Asiatic Society, now we have initiated the digitization, preservation of the whole documents of the Rabindra Bhavan, Puthi, and also all our administrative documents, maybe service books, and we have given a prioritize, and the work has been initiated. Now, solid waste management, this is also another initiative, door-to-door collection, and I think the photograph shows that how the 4 colored dustbin we have put, so for separation, at the source, we are putting a separation, and we are just planning to hand over to the municipality. At present, we are managing at our own. Now, this is the first time, I think, artificial intelligence. We are in the era of digitization. So AI has come up in a bigger way. So we are developing an artificial intelligence lab. We are also in the process of developing a central laboratory facility in the Visva-Bharati, and a very important thing, Gurudev ideology and dream was establishing a Gaushala. So that I think on 29th August we are going to inaugurate that Gaushala in the campus. Already we have a dairy at Srinivasathan. Then we have a yoga village, with the funding from the UGC, and we have a 6 kutir, Dhyan kutir, Yoga kutir, Ayush kutir, Pranayam kutir, so another 2 kutir are under process. Now this is the unit directly working on the NITI Aayog priority areas. A.K. Dasgupta Center, sponsored by NITI Aayog much before, the Department of Lifelong Learning and Extension, Department of Economics and Politics, Department of Agriculture Economics, Department of Statistics, Department of Agriculture Statistics, Agroeconomics Research Center, Rothindra Krishi Vigyan Kendra, just now our Honorable Vice Chairman, he has visited, Tribal Development Consortium and Artificial Intelligence Cell. Now, we all understand that NITI Aayog are addressing all points, all 17 points of Sustainable Development Goal. Now, on similar fashion, Visva-Bharati is also addressing all 8 component or 8 point of Sustainable Development Goal. Here the listing, Sustainable Development, Rural Prosperity through the Srinivasathan experiment by KVK and also College of Agriculture and Social Work, Lifelong Learning, Community Participation, Skill Development, Education Reforms. Already I have mentioned that we have implemented 100% NEP 2020 at our university. Culture-led development, we have a Sangeet Bhavan, Kala Bhavan, and that also women's empowerment, innovation with tradition. That is Indian knowledge system we are promoting. But I strongly believe and claim that Visva-Bharati is the best platform for Indian knowledge system, because we are dealing with 20 languages. We have a rural reconstruction unit. We have a Sangeet Bhavan, Kala Bhavan. We have a Ravindra Bhavan. We have a Chinese and Chinese Bhavan, and also Hindi Bhavan, all Bhavan, and then we have that all languages. Then we have also Yoga, Ayush Hospital, and also the our PM Hospital. So in all together, we are dealing with the community service. We believe that this is the best platform for Indian knowledge system, and we are going to promote also all connecting all departments. Now, current activities relevant to NITI Aayog at Visva-Bharati. Adopted village, we have 65 adopted villages, and out of these, 12 we are identifying as the Adarsh Gram initiative, where the holistic program in totality it is running and connecting 20 departments working on that those villages. Skill development and capacity building program, A.K. Dasgupta Center and other center, they are also promoting this. Policy research, economics and economy, they are directly involved for developing a policy. Evolution of government schemes, and I think Agro-Eco Research Center, they are directly dealing this evaluation of different schemes and programs. And very recently we have decided, and a team is working on that, documenting 100 years of policy making developed at Visva-Bharati. So the working in the form of development policy committee. Now some of the policy outcome I have mentioned here, the Srinivasathan experiment of rural concern is the precursor to community development program in whole India. The Tagore's vision of education influence new education policy. At least 5-6 component ideology of philosophy of Gurudev have been taken or included in NEP 2020. We are all there, be it with their holistic education, multidisciplinary, experimental learning, and so on. And also regional language, mother tongue, all these the ideology of Gurudev. 100 years back he thought of. Now we are implementing. Blaze studies in AECR during 1950 led to large-scale adoption of longitudinal studies in India. Farm size productivity debate, it is developed from Visva-Bharati. So this is some of the example I have given, and we are documenting as a compendium. It will come in as a good documentation. Now my last slide, perhaps, that why Visva-Bharati matters. You see, the Visva-Bharati is Institute of National Importance with international outlook. Now, we are promoting since 100 years multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary approach. Living model, as I mentioned, is a Gurudev ideology. It has been taken or included in NEP 2020, Srinidhi experiment, a first of its kind, and world's first living heritage UNESCO. This matters. Why Visva-Bharati matters. Now, NITI Aayog, as I mentioned that now the honorable guest, he will be delivering lecture on inclusive growth. Now, NITI Aayog priority area, we are working exactly on the priority area which have been listed here. The inclusive growth, rural outreach and social inclusion, sustainable agriculture, as I mentioned, then Policy Bhavan, College of Agriculture and KVK, they are working on that, human capital, multidisciplinary education. So this is the need of the hour. We have to go promote the multidisciplinary education. SDG 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 13. I think this is the priority point of the Sustainable Development Goal, and our team are working that which is mentioned here. Adarsh Gram is one of the best example, agriculture, yoga and Ayush, research and extension across the discipline. Women empowerment directly is SSG, and also our KVK is also dealing good work on that. Now very important is the local economy dealing with by the NITI Aayog. We are promoting through the rural crafts. The circular economy of the priority area of NITI Aayog, we are promoting to waste to wealth and solar energy. Then cultural economy, definitely through organic and natural farming by Policy Bhavan and KVK. Then skill development, this is social work and the Silpa Sadan. Now we, sir, very recently we have developed Advanced Center for Skill Development, and we are tying up with the Skill India. Capacity building, A.K. Dasgupta is very much involved, our KVK are involved. So all this priority area of NITI Aayog, Visva-Bharati has a strength and working on that. Now these are some of the proposed, suppose aspirant district and aspirational block initiative. In all state it is working, but except West Bengal. Now this is a priority area. Yes, just join. So we can be a partner. Visva-Bharati could be a partner. Now AI-based data partnership and data analytics. Now here we have an opportunity that we have strengthened the Department of Statistics, Economics. We could be a partner for this purpose. Evidence-based policy making and policy dialogue. So we have a strength of different units, so we can be a partner. Now, Adarsh Gram, as I mentioned, this is a very good program we are promoting with, to fulfill the dream of Gurudev. So this could be, we need a support from NITI Aayog, establishment of market intelligence cell for agriculture stakeholders. This is a very important aspect with emphasis on fruit, vegetables, and other perishable products with high availability. Agriculture, economics, and PSB, we have a strong department, so we could be a partner. Establishment of Malavia Mission Teachers Training Center as per Tagore's philosophy of education. I think we badly need this with the support of NITI Aayog. Training for skill development of SHG, tribals, and craft. So now, as many indigenous technology we have with the local community, I think we need support for that purpose through our different unit or department. Now support for Green Initiative, as I projected, the university is taking all aspects of Green Initiative. So that is one area we can be a partner. Impact evaluation of government. Already our AERC is working, so we can tie up with the NITI Aayog. policy internship in NITI Aayog for our student. I think we are not touch upon. So now NITI Aayog has an internship program. Our student can get this opportunity for this internship program of NITI Aayog. Upskilling Adivasi studies in a consortium mode, because you know that is a large mass area, number of tribals population we have surrounding in this area. So now we are working on Birbhum and Bakura. Now we want to connect Jalpaiguri, Darjeeling, Jharkhand, Odisha in a pan-India mode, in MP and Chhattisgarh, where the tribal population there. Can we develop a pan-India program? So we have already developed a mega program for this. If I think if honorable guest or vice chairman agree, we can submit immediately. It is the ready, program is ready, mega program for connecting all the state for pan-India program. So this is what I want to place before you, sir, about the some important work of the Visva-Bharati, be it with academic, maybe rural reconstruction, education, and for development work. The Visva-Bharati seeks to renew this vision, his vision of Tagore through collaborative research, innovation, and policy engagement in partnership with NITI Aayog towards VIKSIT Bharat 2047. Thank you very much for your patience learning. Thank you.
Now we are going to take advantage of the presence of the Honorable Vice Chairman in our midst to release a few publications of the universities. The first one being the third issue of the Visva-Bharati e-newsletter. And the second publication that we would request our honorable guest to release is the Visva-Bharati brochure under the direction of our Vice Chancellor. We have produced a promotional brochure for the university, which is being released here now, and the third issue of the Visva-Bharati e-newsletter. These are the, what should I say, the tangible publications that are being released here today. On the screen, you can see there's a curtain, and which means we have also an online release. The two documents, you're very familiar with both of them, two journals of Visva-Bharati, will be released here in the online mode today. The Visva-Bharati Patrika and the Visva-Bharati Quarterly next. So here you see the brochure being released. This is the brochure. It's mostly pictorial, with very little stodgy prose in it. It's very beautifully designed. You'll all get it, and you can have a look at it. So the next thing we are releasing, the two journals that we are releasing here are the Visva-Bharati Patrika and the Visva-Bharati Quarterly. Sir, I would request you to press the, here it is. It would be released. Now, all of you know everything about these two journals, but still, the Visva-Bharati Patrika had served as a premier journal of this country for many decades. Starting in 1942 with Sri Rathindranath Tagore as its editor. The Visva-Bharati Quarterly started its journey earlier still, in April 1923, under the editorship of Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore himself. Now, owing to exigencies beyond institutional anticipation, both journals had to be discontinued. under the leadership of our Vice Chancellor, we are relaunching them today. Now, our Vice Chancellor was just now saying in one of his slides that this is a national university with an international outlook. I saw on his slide. Gurudev had concluded the editorial of the first issue of Visva-Bharati Quarterly by announcing Visva-Bharati is India's invitation to the world, her offer of sacrifice to the highest truth of man. In relaunching both journals, today we, as a community, repledge ourselves to the pursuit of that noble ideal. I thank Dr. Ashok Lahiri for releasing two publications which have already been, which are already available in print, and two that we are relaunching after some years, not many years, but some years of discontinuation. Thank you, sir. Next, Dr. Ashok Kumar Lahiri, by now, all Indians know of him. He needs no introduction, but procedure demands that we rehearse the redundant. The honor of introducing Dr. Lahiri rests upon Professor Biswajit Mondol, Head, Department of Economics and Politics, Vidya Bhavan, Visva-Bharati. Biswajit da.
A very good afternoon to all of you. বলো 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 সবে শত বিনা বিনু রবে ভারত আবার জগৎ সভায় শ্রেষ্ঠ আসন লবে ধর্মে মহান হবে কর্মে মহান হবে নবদিনমণি উদিবে আবার পুরাতন এ পুরবে. With these profound lines, which are perfectly aligned with the cherished dream of VIKSIT Bharat at 2047, I take this opportunity to introduce the person who is and will be pivotal to realizing the goal of Shrestha Bharat. He is our most esteemed guest today, Dr. Ashok Kumar Lahiri, the Honorable Vice Chairperson of NITI Aayog. NITI stands for National Institution for Transforming India. Sir, I again welcome you. Dr. Lahiri is not only an eminent economist, but also a very distinguished public intellectual and respected policymaker. He belongs to the rare group of economists who have excelled both in academics and in policymaking. An alumnus of Presidency College, Kolkata, Dr. Lahiri pursued his postgraduate studies and doctoral research at the Delhi School of Economics. His academic brilliance soon translated into an extraordinary professional journey spanning more than 4 decades. Dr. Lahiri has served as a faculty member at the DSE, Director of NIPFP, Senior Economist at the International Monetary Fund, Washington, D.C., Executive Director at the Asian Development Bank in Manila, and Chief Economic Advisor to the Government of India. He was also associated with SEBI, the 15th Finance Commission, the Indian Statistical Institute, and Bandhan Bank in various capacities. So it is indeed a matter of great privilege to host a scholar and policymaker of Dr. Lahiri's stature. His presence would surely strengthen the dialogue between academia and public policy to address the complex developmental challenges. In addition to this, to my mind, we are holding this talk on the Indian economy and policy making at a very critical juncture. On 2 counts, this time point is very important. Number 1, if we look at the recent growth path of the Indian economy, what we see is that the GDP of our country has been on the rise since the early years of this century. And we are striving to achieve the VIKSIT Bharat by 2047. So we have just crossed the halfway mark. And possibly our economy is all set to take off, or has just taken off. Now it is time to fly, indeed, to glide towards our goal of VIKSIT Bharat 2047. And number 2, again, if we look at the beginning of this century, the chief economic advisor to the Prime Minister was the same person who is now at the helm of NITI Aayog. So we are sure to experience a smooth reconciliation between the policies initiated back in 2002 and those to be executed in the next few years. Therefore, we at Visva-Bharati are really fortunate to have a glimpse of such reconciliatory mechanism through the deliberations of Dr. Lahiri. Now, before I stop, I would briefly mention one small but very encouraging recent phenomenon that is emphasized by Richard Baldwin in his famous Harvard University book published in 2016. The title of the book is The Great Convergence. This book explains and establishes how the East is again taking control of the world economy. One important factor behind such a dramatic transformation is the ICT revolution and the growth of service trade, coupled with the geographical location of trading countries. Thus, geographical advantage, when integrated with technological advancement, derives the maximum possible benefit. Hence, it is a classic example of connecting tradition with technology, the focal point of today's special lecture. With this note, I once again welcome you all to the much-awaited address by Dr. Ashok Kumar Lahiri, Vice Chairperson, NITI Aayog, and this lecture will be chaired by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Prabir Kumar Ghosh. Namaskar and thank you.
May I request Dr. Ashok Kumar Lahiri to please come to the...
Namaskar. Good afternoon. Honorable Vice Chancellor, the Deans, Heads of Departments, Professors, faculty members, dear students and friends. The topic today that I have been assigned is Bridging Tradition and Technology for a VIKSIT Bharat. Let me warn you that I'll speak for about 25 minutes. I was a lecturer once upon a time, and worse still, I was a politician for 5 years. So when I get hold of the microphone, I don't let it go. So don't complain if I keep speaking. Now, this is a very interesting topic. All of you will surely agree that the world and the human civilization are very different from what they were a few thousand or even a few hundred years ago. We have come a long way from our nomadic days of being hunter-gatherers wrapped in animal skins. And it is because of technological advancement, no doubt about that. Historians and anthropologists tell us that more than some 10,000 years ago, two general-purpose technologies, the domestication of plants and animals, gradually replaced our extant hunter-gatherer way of life. These technologies changed not only how food was found, but how it might be stored, how transport would work, and the very scale at which a society could operate. Early crops like paddy, wheat, barley, lentils, chickpeas, and peas, and animals like pigs, sheep, and goats became subject of human control. Eventually, this coupled with a new revolution in tools, hoes and plows. These simple innovations marked the beginning of modern civilizations. In ancient times, India kept pace with the technology. Our ancestors developed cities like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Rakhigadi, and Dholavira. They set up universities in places such as Takshila and Nalanda. They painted caves such as in Ajanta and Ellora, and they sailed the oceans to reach distant places in Southeast Asia. According to the pioneering work of economic historian Angus Maddison, India was the world's largest economy, generating about a quarter to 30% of world's income for a long time. All of us have heard the splendor of the Mughal Empire and its court and how it attracted the attention of foreign fortune hunters. India was the proverbial Sone ki chiriya, the golden bird of gold. But we lost our prime position by the early 19th century. By 1830, China had grown to be the top economy in the world, relegating us to the second position. From the 16th century onwards, until independence, it was a story of stagnation, a story of retrogression. According to Angus Madison again, Indian per capita income in real terms increased by only a little over 12% in 447 years. 12% in 447 years. A primary reason for this decay was lack of technological progress. Our large and brave army on foot, horseback, and on elephants, with their outdated weaponry and cannons, a weaponry of swords, lances, bows and arrows, were no match for the foreign invaders with guns and cannons. The invaders' naval ships, fitted with modern technology, could easily come up our rivers and bombard our towns and cities upstream with impunity. India lost out on the successive industrial revolutions, sweeping the Western world from the late 18th century. In Europe, beginning around the 1770s, the first wave of the Industrial Revolution combined steam power, mechanized looms, the factory system, and canals. In the 1840s came the age of railways, telegraphs and steamships, and a bit later steel and machine tools. Together they formed the first industrial revolution. Then just a few decades later came the second industrial revolution with the internal combustion engine, chemical engineering, powered flight and electricity. Flight needed combustion, and mass production of combustion engines demanded steel and machine tools and so on. Beginning with the Industrial Revolution, immense change became measured in decades rather than centuries or millennia. There is no denying the fact that far from having great success in contributing to the great Industrial Revolution by inventing new technologies, we made little progress even in adopting them. The Industrial Revolution just passed us by. A large part of the reason, of course, was foreign rule and the absence of a state with any interest in, leave alone promoting new inventions or innovations. In even encouraging adoption of new technology in a proactive way. The mercantile interests of the foreign rulers agitated against the development, promotion, or adopting the new technology in the Indian domestic industry. A more backward domestic industry would help British manufacturers at home, within quotes, to sell their wares in India. When it comes to fundamental research, we know what travails the stalwarts like Acharya Jagadish Chandra Bose and Acharya Prafullo Chandra Ray had to go through to further their fundamental research. We were a technologically stagnant society for a long period of time. We basked in the glory of our ancient achievements in the world-famous muslins and hand-woven cotton, providing the world with vibrant spices, wood, still, indigo dye, etc. We made hardly any technological progress. We basked in our past glory. Except for some new technologies in sectors such as tea and jute, the world passed us by. Consequences followed. Technologically stagnant societies are historically unstable and prone to collapse. We did not collapse exactly, but we lost our independence and for some time became balkanized. Technology comes in waves. It is said that, I quote, technology has a clear, inevitable trajectory, mass diffusion in great roiling waves. One invention or innovation leads to not only another, but many more inventions and innovations. Quote, the more tools you have, the more you can do, and the more you can imagine new tools and processes beyond them, unquote. For example, invention of railways and steam engines created demand for more efficient engines and led to the invention of internal combustion engines. Technologies come together around the same time, powered by one or several general purpose technologies with profound societal implications. Unfortunately, when industrial revolution was sweeping Europe and North America and we were under foreign rule, the engine of technological innovations and inventions did not even start in our country. Large population helps innovation and progress, and one innovation leads to another. Bigger and more connected populations are more potent crucibles for tinkering, experimentation, and serendipitous discovery. A more powerful collective brain for making new things. We can always blame, with sufficient justification, foreign rule and the neglect of education under our imperial masters for missing out on the Industrial Revolution. But that may only be a proximate reason. We can go further back and ask, why did we get subjugated by the foreigners? Does our failure to keep up with the rest of the world in technology conceal some more fundamental reasons, including attitudinal ones? When entrepreneurs, scientists, and engineers in Europe and North America were actively searching for new methods and techniques to invent and innovate more efficient and cheaper methods of producing goods and services, why do we also not do so? We could have made more money. Could it be the availability of plentiful supply of labor at cheap wages in India that militated against the invention of modern technology in the colonial times? The famous economist Sir John Richard Hicks's theory that changes in factor prices lead to innovations is no longer accepted by most experts. It involves a confusion between technological change and factor substitution. The position as expressed by Fellner, Salter, Samuelson and others is that under competitive conditions, an individual firm is simply not interested in the particular factor saving bias of technological improvements. Some experts claim that the economic incentives to reduce costs always exist. Businessmen are always looking for ways how to reduce costs. But these incentives are so diffuse and general that they do not explain much in terms of particular sequence and timing of innovative activity. Since a decision maker will pursue any possibility for reducing costs, what forces determine the direction in which it goes in exploring new techniques? So what is the explanation? I quote, "Within the realm of exploratory activities which may yield new cost-reducing technologies, where does the firm place its resources? Some firms no doubt are able to take a very long time horizon and survey with equanimity and fine impartiality the whole spectrum of possibilities. But most firms, or at least most decision makers, are under pressure to undertake actions which promise a payoff in a relatively short time, and with at least most of the constraints imposed by the existing plant. They're confronted with the existing range of productive activities as an inevitable starting point. They're naturally led to search the technological horizon, as it were, within the framework of these current activities and to attack the most restrictive constraint. My primary point is that most mechanical productive processes throw off signals of a sort which are both compelling and fairly obvious. Indeed, these processes, when sufficiently complex and interdependent, involve an almost compulsive formulation of problems These problems capture a large proportion of the time and energies of those engaged in search for improved techniques, unquote. That explains why technological inventions and innovations get bunched up. You'll find in one country it's happening, in Silicon Valley it's just happening, one after another. One following the other, almost like a procession. Take, for example, the automobile industry. Improved design of engines through the achievement of higher speeds led to the invention of improved braking systems. Again, in the early 19th century, the railway revolutionized transport and started the search for vehicles for personalized travel. In 1863, the Belgian inventor Jean-Joseph Etienne Lenoir powered the first vehicle with an internal combustion engine, driving it 7 miles out of Paris. But the engine was heavy, the speed limited. By 1876, in a Deutsch factory, AG factory in Cologne, a German engineer called Nicolas August Otto produced the first functional internal combustion engine, the 4-stroke model. It was another German engineer, Karl Benz, using his version of a 4-stroke internal combustion engine in 1886, patented the motor wagon, now seen as the world's first proper car. But cars and the internal combustion engines that powered them remained inordinately expensive, beyond the means of all but the very richest. The turning point was Henry Ford's 1908 Model T. His simple but effective vehicle was built using a revolutionary approach, the moving assembly line. An efficient, linear, and repetitive process enabled him to slash the price of personal vehicles, and the buyers followed. The rest is history. One invention, as I said, leads to another, and they multiply. Why did the process not start in India? Yes, the imperial state's neglect of education and country's development constitute the root cause. But has our tradition got to do something about it? I know I'm getting into dangerous territory, but still I submit for your consideration. Of the four Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha, have we paid inadequate attention to Artha? I have no expertise in this area and do not know the answer. But it appears that we might have evinced greater interest in life after death than life before death. Our attitude to material things is also reflected in the number of students studying STEM today: science, technology, engineering, and medicine. In spite of the efforts by the government to improve facilities and promote STEM education, only 1 out of about 4 college students choose STEM as their subject of study. I never studied STEM, but I have no hesitation in saying the country needs more STEM. And between class 9 and getting a final STEM degree, our education system loses roughly 13 out of every 14 students. Indeed, while the state of affairs partly reflects the lack of availability of facilities for STEM education in the country, it also captures the indifference towards material sciences. Having said that, our traditional attitude towards material things also has a lot of similarity with Max Weber's celebrated Protestant ethic. The famous sociologist Max Weber, in his book, The Protestant Ethic and the Spirit of Capitalism, this was written in 1904-1905, argued that the Protestant Reformation fostered the psychological conditions necessary for modern capitalism. Religious doctrines, particularly Calvinism, transformed hard work and wealth accumulation into moral virtues. Making money is good, inadvertently driving economic growth. Our traditional values encourage us to become yogis, to do hard work and not care much about what benefits will accrue to it. You all know karmanne badhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 47. The trait of our tradition inspires confidence in me that we can bridge tradition and technology in building a VIKSIT Bharat. There is no denying the fact that technology will change the way we live. It's bound to change. You cannot help it. The way we interact is going to change. And how we build our institutions, even that is going to change. Technology is like a powerful breeze. It will cool our lives and make it richer in material things, but it also poses a risk that, like a storm, it will blow us apart and destroy much of our traditions. What gives me confidence is also the basic nature of Hindu thought. Hindu thought, I quote, has no mistrust of reason. I'm quoting Radhakrishnan. There can be no final breach between the two powers of human mind, reason and intuition. Beliefs that foster and promote spiritual life of the soul must be in accordance with the nature and the laws of the world of reality, with which it is their aim to bring us into harmony, wrote Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan in his famous book, The Hindu View of Life. He went on to add, quote, precious as are the echoes of God's voice in the souls of men of long ago, our regard for them must be tempered by the recognition of the truth that God has never finished the revelation of His wisdom and love. Besides, our interpretation of religious experience must be in conformity with the findings of science. As knowledge grows, our theory develops. Only those parts of the tradition which are logically coherent are to be accepted as superior to the evidence of senses and not the whole tradition, unquote. Let me end with some reflections on what we can learn in the context from Gurudev Rabindranath's implementation of concepts like inclusive growth. The Honorable Vice Chancellor has already told us how great work is going on in Visva-Bharati in that regard. So how is Rabindranath's implementation of concepts like inclusive growth, sustainable development, or grassroots innovation in Shantiniketan? Tagore demonstrated practically how modern scientific traditions, crafts, and social harmony, Shantiniketan was arguably one of India's earliest living laboratories of inclusive innovation. Here, technology was introduced not for its own sake, nor as a display of mechanical prowess, but as deliberate instrument to elevate human dignity. There is no dignity in poverty. Boost rural incomes and foster rural self-reliance. Rabindranath Tagore's vision materialized deeply in Sriniketan, established in 1922, the sister institute of Shantiniketan, dedicated to rural reconstruction. Rather than rejecting modernity, Tagore championed a philosophy of constructive Swadeshi, where scientific knowledge was adopted to empower rural communities without destroying their cultural fabric. Tagore established the Shilposhodhan, Institute of Village Industries, to professionalize traditional crafts. His son, Rothindranath, went to England to study scientific leathercraft and vegetable tanning techniques. They fused this Western scientific method with local aesthetic sensibilities like batik and embossing. This created the famous Shantiniketan leather style. Today the district master told me that you have got the GI tag. Congratulations. Providing highly profitable, skilled employment to local artisans. Within Shilposhodhan, he introduced scientific furnaces for pottery and ceramics, deployed advanced weaving looms, and provided structured modern training in traditional carpentry and lacquer work. Parallel to crafts, Tagore collaborated with English agronomist Leonard Elmhurst to set up an experimental firm to scientifically study and solve local rural issues known as Surul Experimental Farm. Next time I come, Honorable Vice Chancellor, you must take me to the Surul Experimental Farm. That's a promise. Thank you. He introduced modern agricultural practices to poor local farmers to improve yield resilience and boost incomes. They included scientific crop management, such as the use of artificial fertilizers, green manuring, crop rotation, and scientific dairy and poultry farming, alongside the introduction of commercial cash crops like potatoes and high-yielding varieties of rice. Furthermore, technology was integrated through the practical use of tractors and mechanical paddy husking machines, ensuring a direct link between modernization and rural prosperity. In contrast to what Tagore's views were, there was the rural communitarism, which is against laissez-faire and capitalist industrialization. It is an attempt to achieve economic progress while eliminating the excesses of wealth and poverty, as well as the alienation between human beings and between town and country. The nostalgic vision of idyllic and unchanging rural life was also reflected in Mahatma's Hind Swaraj. Gandhiji wrote about dangers of indulging our passions and substituting our hands and feet with machines. These views had a large following, and even Rajaji, Raja Chakrabarti Rajagopalachari, our first Governor General, the future founder of the Swatantra Party, the first major political party, Indian political party with an openly pro-market and anti-statist ideology, supported the view that civilization consisted not in the multiplication but in the deliberate and voluntary restriction of wants. I believe this is a utopian view which is not likely to succeed. Diffusion of modern technology, mechanization, urbanization, and modern industry is an inevitability. Either you will do it today and keep up with the rest of the world, or we will do it tomorrow and be a laggard. You can try to slow it down and impede its progress, but it will still come. You will only lag behind many other countries in economic development. Maintaining tradition should not be confused with the nostalgic vision of idyllic, simple, and unchanging rural life. Our hallowed tradition is much more than an unchanging life. In Radhakrishnan words, quote, only those parts of the tradition which are logically coherent are to be accepted as superior to the evidence of senses and not the whole tradition. Let me add the immense potential that exists in integrating India's traditional knowledge, systems, and modern technology across a variety of sectors: architecture and urban planning, sciences and astronomy, health and wellness, and many others. The distinct advantage that we possess can play a major role in realizing our vision of VIKSIT Bharat. Visva-Bharati must take a lead in this regard. The India of 2047 will be built neither by technology alone nor by tradition alone, but by the creative confidence to hold them together. Technology, if designed without adequate social understanding, may deepen existing inequalities. At the same time, tradition, if not renewed through inquiry and adaptation, may become static. The role of education is to create a thoughtful bridge between continuity and change. And Visva-Bharati, the leading institution that Kavi Guru set up, has a major responsibility in bridging this gap and combining these two visions. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Now we have come to that very interesting segment of the program today, where Dr. Lahiri has agreed to address some of the questions posed by our research scholars and students. It's a rare opportunity for them. However, with a heavy heart, I must inform this House that we are on a short leash in terms of time. We did collect some questions. Actually, we got a number of questions from our students and research scholars, and some of them are thematically similar. So what we have done is we have bunched them together thematically and to a manageable number. And I would therefore put to you, sir, a couple of questions, an American couple perhaps. I would put them to you one by one, and you could respond from your seat, or would you like to take, we have three kind of thematic questions. So should I give you the questions at a time, or would I ask you one by one the questions and you would respond? Okay. So the first question that we have come across from a number of students to bring all the themes together is, how can India ensure that the benefits of economic growth and technological innovation reach rural communities, MSMEs, and subaltern populations, especially those who remain far from the economic mainstream and risk being left even further behind as technology advances? Now, this is a group of students. We are bunching together the themes of number of students. Like, this is 5 students asking this question. Economics.
I have a simple answer to your question. I believe inclusive growth, the 3 main pillars are education, health, and infrastructure. I spent 5 years in a remote, semi-rural constituency and interacted with many little ones in schools and colleges, including some disadvantaged communities like the STs and the SCs. They're as intelligent as me, but they have been denied the great opportunity that I had for education and health. So what is very important is to provide education and health. And here, I believe that economics of education now tells us the importance of human resource. I remember in our younger days, they used to talk about that you're educating these guys, they will become educated, unemployed. Now, looking back, I think educated unemployed is better than uneducated unemployed. Because educated unemployed will find a way. The history of development all over the world, you will find there is not a single country which is literate and poor. And there is not a single country which is rich but illiterate. In fact, Japan took off during the Meiji Restoration in the late 19th century, when the literacy rate reached 40%. Now our literacy rate has reached more than 70%. But what is very important in education is foundational literacy and numeracy. I have laid great stress on that. We have to teach those little boys and girls how to read and write, how to add, multiply, subtract, and divide. Because without that, how will they read what is written in the fertilizer bag as to how much fertilizer they have to apply per acre? Or how will they know whether the expiry date of that medicine is over or not? How will they know how much I should pay when a little girl, when she grows up, she's selling mangoes at 8 rupees and I've taken 12 mangoes, how much should she get? So foundational literacy and numeracy is very important. Health, same thing. If you're suffering from morbidity and constant sickness, then you can't do much. So primary health has to be strengthened. And third thing, of course, is infrastructure. I can do a lot of things, but I can't build roads. I can't build power systems. So the government, the fundamental responsibility of any government should be education, health and infrastructure. The rest of it, if you look at the history of mankind, inequality is a different matter. I'm not giving a suggestion about whether inequality will go down or not. But to me, poverty is a much more compelling problem than inequality. I don't care that much as to whether you become twice as rich as me or 3 times as rich as me. But I do care if I find that you're having a great time and I'm not getting enough to eat. So my answer to that is, your question is, focus on education, health and infrastructure. The rest will follow.
Sir, there are a number of questions around artificial intelligence, obviously, particularly artificial intelligence-led productivity growth. So one such question would be, as India pursues VIKSIT-Bharat, how do we ensure that AI-led productivity growth strengthens rather than substitutes for India's demographic dividend? And what lessons, if any, can we selectively borrow from other countries, experiment with, say, pairing automation with new industrial job creation?
This is a very tough question and I'm out of my depth. I'm reading a book called The Coming Wave by one Mr. Mustafa Suleiman of DeepMind. He is now with Microsoft. And I don't understand artificial intelligence enough, so I will not give any specific answer. I'll just say one thing, that we human beings have proved to be very resilient. You know, the Luddites in England, when the spinning jenny and the weaving machines were invented, they burned down factories because they thought that if these machines are coming, how shall you get employment? Maybe you guys were not, many of you were not born by then, but we remember in our younger days, the trade unions were against computerization in banks. No computers, because computers will replace human beings. But that proved to be a complete myth. I mean, there are a few things that you have to have technology. So I believe human beings are quite ingenious to overcome these problems. But I confess that I don't understand artificial intelligence well to give you a very convincing answer.
From
In
Sriniketan,
a way, what I'm saying is that you can't run away from technology. You have to tame technology. You have to get on top of technology and say, I will teach you a lesson. I will tame you. I'll control you. But containment of artificial intelligence is a serious problem, what I understand.
yes, sir, as the Harvard AI School has brought out its motto, AI would not replace human beings. Human beings skilled in AI would replace human beings who are not skilled in AI. So there is another set of questions, particularly from Sriniketan, which focuses on self-reliance, the idea of self-reliance. Is it a sustainable solution in this globalized era, they seem to ask? How to combat retaliatory trade policies, for instance, by various countries? How would you like to respond to that?
See, there is a difference between self-reliance and autarky. You know what autarky is? Autarky is where you say, I'm not going to import anything. I'm going to produce everything. We know the theory of comparative advantage. The famous economist Pranab Bardhan in Delhi School of Economics, when he used to lecture on comparative advantage, used to give a very good example that a doctor is also an excellent cook. His cook is not as good as the doctor. What should the doctor do? Should the doctor cook his own meals? Or should he go and practice medicine and let the cook do the... So we have to go by comparative advantage. But self-reliance to me is the way we are moving. For example, most of you students are born after 1991, so you don't know. But in 1991, we had to struggle with foreign exchange crisis. Any Gulf War, Suez crisis, there would be a shortage of foreign exchange. Our foreign exchange reserves would not be good enough even for 3 months imports. We had to run to the IMF, World Bank for loans. We have to pledge our gold at RBI to raise a loan. Those days are gone. So self or reliance is not autarky. Self-reliance is produce what you're good at. And there are many things that you're good at. I can rattle off many examples of why I don't find any reason why India shouldn't be producing it. But it's just things are not getting together. So self-reliance is not autarky.
So there are many questions. I'll just probably bring it down to 2 more. We are running out of time. One from agricultural economics. Declining relative share of primary sectors in GDP is considered to be a sign of development. In India, that is happening very fast, but there is no commensurate decline in the dependence on primary sector for livelihood. How NITI Aayog is going to respond to this?
In fact, it's a very topical question. Yesterday there was a meeting on Krishi Vikram, organized by Indian Chamber of Commerce in Delhi. And there this topic came up. You know, we produce something like 16 to 18% of our GDP from agriculture and allied sectors. That's agriculture, forestry and fishing. But we have about 45 or 46% of our workforce dependent on this agricultural sector. With so many people dependent on a sector that produces such a small part of GDP, trouble is inevitable. But let's get one thing clear. The history of development shows that the proportion of GDP coming from agriculture and allied sectors will go down. In China, the proportion has gone down to something like 6 or 7%. I was surprised to see that New Zealand, which we think is the land of milk and butter, there also the GDP coming from agriculture and allied sectors is 2 or 3%. Go to European countries, it's that. So our development will also mean that agriculture's contribution to GDP will go down. Now, so what is the solution? The solution to me are twofold. One is to increase productivity in agriculture. Why do I say that? No, we have become self-sufficient in food. We export also food. But our productivity is still not comparable to the best in the world. I was looking at the numbers. So for example, in paddy, the productivity per acre is at least 2 times higher, if not more, in the US, in Egypt, in China, in Vietnam, many countries. Even when you look at states, the productivity per acre is much higher in Punjab and Haryana than in West Bengal or... So we have a long way to go in terms of increasing yield and increasing income of agriculturists. Then there is the issue of moving from production to profit. One expert said that we must look at farmers as businessmen. Businessmen will sell shingara rather than jalebi if there is more profit in shingara. So farmers should also look at, should they be producing rice or wheat or green vegetables or poultry, dairy, goat raising. And there, agriculture has a lot to adjust. With increasing per capita income, the proportion of our budget spent on food is declining, and within that food basket, we are eating much more of fruits and vegetables, milk and milk products, poultry and poultry products, fish, eggs, meat. So farmers have to produce according to the demand and the changing demand, not think of what they used to demand in the past. And we have to move from production to processing. Some 16 or 18% of our fruits and vegetables rot and is wasted at the post-harvest level. That's a few $1 billion, quite a few $1 billion. I don't remember how many $1 billion it is. I think $18 billion, if I remember right. So we have to have more processing industries. And last but not the least is we need better marketing facilities. Marketing facilities, because farmers can produce, that's not a major problem. But how do they market it? Marketing is a major problem. We sometimes underestimate that.
We have really run out of time, but still one hardy perennial of a question remains from, the Bengalis. How to invite more FDI or stop capital flight from West Bengal to other states and other countries? How would you like to react to that?
My immediate answer to the young minds is, don't have any doubt about the fact that a good businessman will come and invest only if he can make money. And that's true of domestic investors as well as foreign investors. So how do you attract investment? The easy answer is make it profitable. I'm not going to come and invest in your village out of love for you. I'm going to invest in your village because I know I'm going to make money. So what is the answer? The answer is ease of doing business, then infrastructure, availability of skilled manpower. So look at what is happening in India. The states in the south and the west, Maharashtra and Gujarat, are getting large amounts of investment. So when you compare, why are they getting it? It's not because the businessmen or foreign investors hate Bengalis, no. Because they know that they will not make as much money if they invest here. The day we turn around and say that here is an opportunity, you don't have to invite them. They will find out and come. There'll be a beeline for investment.
Thank you so much, sir, for patiently responding in detail to all these questions. There were many more. I can send them to you probably. You could respond later on by email. But we would have to get on to the last part of our program today. I would invite Professor Vidhan Chandra Rai, Head, Department of Agricultural Economics, Polli Shikha Bhavan, and Chair Professor A.K. Das Gupta, Center for Planning and Development, Visva-Bharati, to deliver the formal vote of thanks.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, our esteemed chief guest, distinguished dignitaries, respected faculty members and officials of this university, my dear students, scholars, persons from the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great honor and privilege to propose the formal vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. On behalf of Visva-Bharati, I express our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Ashok Kumar Lahiri, and distinguished economist, policy administrator, and more importantly, a great teacher, for accepting our invitation and delivering such a motivating talks on the very important topic on VIKSIT-Bharat at the rate 2047. Sir, your thought-provoking address and encouraging interactions or answers to our questions from our students had greatly enriched their understanding of India's development aspirations. Sir, you have rightly told that technology was the prime mover of development, and technology will continue to be the prime mover of economic development in future. At the same time, you have also cautioned us that technology alone cannot succeed. It requires a balance between institutions, infrastructure, policies, and educational and mindset of the people. Sir, these suggestions will go in a long way in refining and strengthening our thinking for economic development in the country. Let us carry forward these visions and we all together work towards the transformation, the aspiration of modern India that we need. Sir, we are deeply grateful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, for the illuminating presentation on Tagore's philosophy and India's contemporary development agenda, which beautifully connected Rabindranath Tagore's vision, timeless vision, with the nation's future. You have also showed the shared vision between Visva-Bharati and NITI Aayog, and we need to have a further collaboration on these issues. Our sincere thanks are also due to the personal private secretary of Dr. Lahiri, the district officials led by Honorable District Magistrate and Collectors, Sri Dhavalji, the Madam SDO of Bolpur Block, West Bengal Police, and the officials from West Bengal Planning Board for continuously keeping in touch with you for this program during last couple of days. I will be failing in my duty if I don't mention the help and support received from university officials, like all the directors, registrar, principals, head of the department, faculty member, staff, research scholar, student, Shantiniketan Duradarshan, and members of the media for their gracious presence and valuable participation. We are also thankful to the participants of ICSSR-sponsored community capacity building program participants for attending this very session, and I am sure they have got a better insight from this lecture. We also acknowledge the excellent exhibition presented through the 6 exhibition stalls and appreciate the impressive NCC parade, which added great dignity and vibrancy to today's program. A special word of appreciation should also go to all the committee members, music team, administrative officer, security personnel, technical teams, garden section, volunteers, and each and every member of organizing committee. Finally, I thank everyone present here for making this program a grand success through your enthusiastic participation and support. With this word, I once again express my sincere gratitude to all. Thank you all, each and everyone. Thank you.
Once again, I would request all of you to rise to your feet for the Ashram Sangeet to be followed by the national anthem.
আমাদের শান্তি নিকেতন আমাদের শান্তি নিকেতন উদার আকাশ ভরা কোলে মোদের দোলে হৃদয় দোলে উদার আকাশ ভরা কোলে মোদের দোলে হৃদয় দোলে মোরা বারে বারে দেখি তারে নিত্যই নূতন আমাদের শান্তি নিকেতন আমাদের শান্তি নিকেতন মোদের তরু মূলের মেলা মোদের খোলা মাঠের খেলা মোদের নীল গগনের সোহাগ মাখা সকাল সন্ধ্যা বেলা মোদের তরু মূলের মেলা মোদের খোলা মাঠের খেলা মোদের নীল গগনের সোহাগ মাখা সকাল সন্ধ্যা বেলা শালের ছায়া বিথি বাজায় বনের কলগীতি সদাই শালের ছায়া বিথি বাজায় বনের কলগীতি সদাই পাতার নাচে মেতে আছে আমলকি কানন আমাদের শান্তি নিকেতন আমাদের শান্তি নিকেতন আমরা যেথায় মরি ঘুরে সে যে যায় না কবু দূরে মোদের মনের মাঝে প্রেমের সেতার বাঁধা যে তার সুরে আমরা যেথায় মরি ঘুরে সে যে যায় না কবু দূরে মোদের মনের মাঝে প্রেমের সেতার বাঁধা যে তার সুরে প্রাণের সঙ্গে প্রাণে সে যে মিলিয়েছে এক তানে মোদের প্রাণের সঙ্গে প্রাণে সে যে মিলিয়েছে এক তানে মোদের ভাইয়ের সঙ্গে ভাইকে সে যে করেছে এক মন আমাদের শান্তি নিকেতন আমাদের শান্তি নিকেতন জয় হে ভারত ভাগ্য বিধাতা পঞ্জাব সিন্ধু গুজরাট মারাঠা দ্রাবিড় উৎকল বঙ্গ বিন্দু হিমাচল যমুনা গঙ্গা উচ্ছল জলধি তরঙ্গ তব শুভ নামে জাগে তব শুভ আশিস মাগে গাহে তব জয় গাথা জনগণ মঙ্গল দায়ক জয় হে ভারত ভাগ্য বিধাতা জয় হে জয় হে জয় হে জয় 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 হে
A group photograph would be taken in the portico outside, so I would request you to make your way there for the event. There is also some refreshment for you waiting outside after the group photograph. Thank you.